guys, welcome. My name is Natalie. Today I am going to be helping you with your handstands. So I've gotten some questions recently about handstands and I thought I would film a video to compile everything that I have learned about handstands in the last few years into this little video to help you with your technique and also some strengthening exercises to really get those handstands to be more stable. So let's get started. Okay, before we get started, I have made a little video, a warm-up video for your wrists. There's going to be so much pressure on your wrists. I would advise you to warm them up properly. But if you are not interested in the wrist warm-up, I'm going to put a timestamp here. You can just skip it and get straight to the interesting part. Okay, when it comes to handstands, there's definitely a few different areas that play a role in creating a stable and strong handstand. First of all, there is technique involved. Second of all, balance, of course. Third thing, strength. And the fourth thing that I think is key is practice. Practice makes perfect, so practice is definitely the most important part of all of these things. I'm going to get started with the technique and show you how you can get into your handstand. Okay, when it comes to technique, the first thing that is really important is your arm placement. Obviously, you need to make sure that you have a stable base, so if your hands are too close together, it's going to make it more difficult, and the same if your hands are too far apart. Take them shoulder width and you will be absolutely fine. So when your hands are shoulder width, the next part is to look at your fingers. Now, we like to call these spider fingers because these are really going to help you balance. So when you've got your hands flat, it makes it a little bit harder to balance. If you bend your fingers ever so slightly, you have more points to balance on. It's going to make it easier for you in your handstand. When it comes to your gaze, I would suggest I always look down at my mat. Okay, as soon as you start moving your head, as soon as you start gazing around the place, you lose your balance. So make sure that you have a focus on your mat somewhere to keep your eyes there, and don't move them around, don't move things about, because in my experience you just fall out of them if you change your gaze. Okay, so the next part is hopping up into handstand. Now obviously you can do this against a wall, maybe you have a person to help you that can spot you if you are new to handstands. But the easiest way that I have found that most people start with the handstands is by hopping up and having one leg bent like this, and then slowly straightening it. I like to do it with both legs straight, but that is just my preference. Now when it comes to your handstands, it's really important that you don't do any quick, fast movements. Okay, anything quick is going to create difficulty for you to balance. So for the handstands, I find that it's most important that you slowly straighten the second leg. If you do any fast movements, it's easy to fall out of your handstand. This brings me to the next part, which is keeping your body really engaged. This is so important because if you don't have the right posture in handstand, it's going to make it really hard for you to hold it. If you're beginning, you want to get away from the banana shape. You want to really engage everything to keep everything nice and straight. That just makes the balance easier. Once you've got the simple handstand, yes, you can play around with doing different back bends and things like that in your handstand. But for this beginning, you want to keep everything engaged. You want to try and avoid a banana shape. Okay, so you don't want your shoulders or your back or anything to be relaxed. You need everything to be engaged, including your core, your legs, everything engaged. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to your actual upper body, I'm going to show you the way not to do it because this is very hard to balance. You need to push your shoulders up and kind of round your back slightly. We don't want an open chest here. We want everything tucked in and tight. The ribs are kind of knitting in a little bit here. Once you have that, it makes it easier for you to hold your handstand. Now you're going to be using your fingers to kind of balance. You might notice that you need to tip forwards with your shoulders over your wrists slightly at the beginning to then, once you've straightened your legs, straighten it back out a little bit more. There is definitely one exercise that I really think helps build all the areas that you need for a handstand, and that is this high plank that I'm going to show you. So you really want to push into your hands. You don't want to have a low plank. You really want to push in and round your back out. So keep the muscles nice and tight in your back, in your shoulders. Create as much space between you and the mat as you can. And then also tip forwards on your tiptoes, which will engage your entire body, your core, everything will be engaged. This is what you need for your handstands to be strong and to be stable. Now, if you're like me and you hate doing a plank just like that, because that's not really your type of thing, incorporate it into your yoga practice. I do that as well. I never just hop on my mat because I fancy doing a plank. I just put it in my yoga practice, hold it a little bit here, do these exercises that I've shown you, and you can build your strength in a less intense way. Of course, if you fancy hopping onto your mat and doing this every single day, that is also going to have the desired results, but don't feel like you really just need to train strength to get a handstand. I don't do that either. I just pop those things into my yoga practice. The next thing is hopping up into a handstand tuck, which is great if you've got a little bit of the handstand balance already. You can hop up and hop back down. This really will strengthen your shoulders, and I always feel it the next day in my shoulders when I do these. And then also, if you feel comfortable, you can hop into tuck, straighten your legs and come back down with control. So all of those things are definitely going to help your handstands. To end the video, I just wanted to leave you with a message, and that is that don't be afraid to try. Practice makes perfect. I have probably fallen out of my handstands hundreds, if not thousands of times. I have done a lot of handstands in my life, and I still fall out of them sometimes, and that is okay. Practice makes perfect. Nobody was born fantastic at handstands, okay? It's all about the practice, because if you persist, you will get there. If I can do it, so can you. Please feel free to tag me on Instagram if you try any of these handstand exercises, or if you want to show me your handstand. I would be really interested to see it. Just tag me and I will check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.